Beauty multi-brand retailer Sephora is betting that its physical stores will remain important after the pandemic and is investing in a new fleet of brick-and-mortar locations. This year, the company will open several freestanding locations in addition to shops it was already planning to open inside of Kohl's department stores. Very interesting development there. Now, we're going to speak with, from our Abuja studio, Arise correspondent and the host of Arise 360, Kachi Offiah, to talk more about Sephora's decision. Kachi, thanks for joining us on the Global Business Report. Do you have any more details on this decision by Sephora with as far as their expansion plans are concerned?
Thanks for having me, Rotus. To start with, the beginning of the situation is simply the COVID-19 pandemic. Sephora's decision to move on to open stores outside the malls that we've seen is as a result of the fact that the traction towards these malls have greatly reduced. Now, as we have seen with the COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of people have replaced their makeup and their normal going out with just staying indoors due to the lockdowns that we have seen. Now, on a normal day, they will have walk-ins into the stores, but they're not seeing as much of that anymore. However, as the lockdown around the world begins to ease, and lots of people are going outside, but the thing is, people are still not shopping as much because there still aren't many events happening. As we've seen, for instance, the Golden Globes, this would have been a great time for makeup artists around the world to want to stock up on new material. But the thing is, it's all indoors. So makeup artists are capitalizing on what they already have to reduce going out as much as possible. So the best way for them to get the eye of the people that they need to see them is to get outside, in street stores, pop-ups. This is going to work exceedingly well. And I think if we take this back to the collaboration that they had with JCPenney, which was a price thing. Now, the thing is, when a lot of people think Sephora, they think, it must be incredibly expensive. But then when you look at a JCPenney and a Sephora, you think affordable. So I think they're also trying to use that tactic to drag in new customers into buying some new products. Back to you, Rotus.
Was the JCPenney partnership, was that prior to this partnership that they just signed now with Kohl's?
Yes, it was prior to the partnership that they just signed with Kohl. Like I said, the partnership that they had with Kohl, I would differentiate the two by saying JCPenney was more of a price thing, Kohl was more of a visibility thing. Now, they're trying to cater to various customers. Sephora is a brand that meets every single standard. So whether you want to meet the high class, you want to meet the middle class, they wanted to create a brand awareness that will be convenient for their customers to easily get what they need. So with JCPenney, they were targeting the middle class, people who would normally shop at JCPenney, but would not just walk into a regular Sephora store, and they were able to get that market. Now with Kohl, it was more about a visibility for their high-enders. That's what the concept behind that was.
Great, Kachi, let's stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. We'll continue the conversation after the break. It's Global Business Report on Arise News. We'll be right back. Back to the Global Business Report on Arise News. All right, we're still with Kachi Offiah, Arise correspondent in Abuja, Arise 360. We're talking, of course, about Sephora and their expansion for 2021. So, Kachi, thanks. So, if you could pick off where you left off, you were describing, comparing the deal that Sephora had with JCPenney versus what they have with Kohl. If you want to pick up from there, please.
Yes, thank you so much, Rotus. So I was talking about the fact that Sephora, they're opening about 260 new stores, and this is going to be within Kohl. Now, JCPenney was an initial deal that they signed. It's set to go on for a few more years. But this deal with Kohl is supposed to replace that deal with JCPenney. Now, as we already know, Kohl is as at February 2013, was the largest U.S. retail department store that's within the United States of America. So this makes it a better deal for Sephora. And apart from that, they're also trying to appeal to younger shoppers. But the key to this is it's younger shoppers who are looking for high-end beauty products. So that's the point of what they're trying to do. With JCPenney, a lot of what they were getting was the visibility. But in terms of getting the high-end products sold, that was a bit of a problem, but with Kohl, this is a problem that they already have. When it comes to the beauty market, that is a department that they are seriously lacking behind in. If you want to get the dresses, you want to get the shoes, that's your go-to spot. But when it comes to beauty, the customers who walk in there are unable to find what they need. So with Sephora joining them and partnering to create this little pop-up stores, it solves the problem for Kohl, giving them the beauty angle that they need their customers to see, while also giving Sephora the visibility that they need, as well as the kind of customers they need.
Excellent stuff. All right, so Kachi, that all sounds, you've laid out the business plan now and the strategy behind this. But what about makeup sales? How did makeup sales perform in this year that's just gone past, 2020?
Roses, I'll be real with you. I don't even have any foundation on because it's a waste of time. Putting on a mask will ruin your makeup. It's a fact. My mask is white. By the time I'm done, it's brown because it ruins everything. So that's an idea of how makeup sales have gone. It's not as much as it was before. Now, what a lot of makeup brands are looking towards and what a lot of makeup artists are looking towards are sustainable brands that allow you survive within the lockdown and the pandemic while also having some makeup on. So I would say in terms of skincare brands, they did so much better. But makeup brands, they really plummeted in year 2020. Sales were greatly reduced due to the lockdowns. I mean, these are not commodities that you need unless you're going out. The basis of makeup is you want to go out and show. And that is exactly what the COVID-19 pandemic took away. So definitely, it was really bad for stores like Sephora and the others for the year 2020.
Thank you for that. So based on that, are they not taking a gamble with this expansion that they're planning?
Well, I think just as we've seen with the rest of the world, the lockdowns around the world are easing. I think what 2020 taught a lot of makeup brands was you can't just stay comfortable or stay in your comfort zone and expect that, you're fine there. Now, the thing is, as lockdowns begin to ease, definitely people are going to start going out again. We've seen a lot of events, mini events, so to say, happening around the world. Limited amounts of people, COVID restricted events. So definitely things are going to go back to normal, only the new normal. The most important thing for them now, first of all, is to make up their losses from 2020 and then adjust in a way that they can adapt to the new normal that COVID-19 has presented. So I wouldn't say they're taking a gamble. I would say at the end of the day, it's either that or they go back to what they had in 2020, which is no sales at all. So at least this way, they have the visibility that they need to at least start selling again. And I'm very certain that the next thing we're going to see from Sephora is them advertising a lot more waterproof brands, lots of waterproof powders, foundation palettes, eyeshadow palettes, to let people know that, listen, you can actually have our makeup on while you have the mask on. But then again, they can't do this if people are not even buying at all. So this is just a first step to a bigger picture of what they intend to roll out in the coming months.
Okay, great stuff. So bigger picture. Yesterday we were talking about the aviation sector and how the aviation sector was dependent in part on vaccinations. If I was to ask you how you think makeup sales will perform this year, and you talking about things gradually going back to normal, how much of that depends on vaccinations though going forward?
Well, the thing is, vaccinations are very, very important of everything, in terms of events happening at all. The thing is, if people are still stuck at home, if people are still unable to travel, if events cannot happen, if we cannot see the things like the Golden Globes, if you cannot see the Oscars, if you cannot see the film festivals happening, if there are no red carpet shows, if there are no, if there are no functions for people to attend, then there is no need to dress up. I was reading an article recently where someone said that a lot of people are dropping their pants in terms of their trousers for literal underwear. Because what are you dressing up in your home for?
Right.
What are you putting on makeup in your home for? So again, vaccination is essential because this will mean that a lot of people are now able to adjust to the new normal, have events without the fear of contracting the COVID-19 virus. So this means that people start going out again, and of course it will boost makeup sales. But I would say it's a little too soon to determine. We're just in the month of February. 2020 was just 2 months ago. So it's not going to happen immediately, but it's a gradual process. What we're seeing is that they are adapting, and that's the most important thing.
Great stuff. Now, speaking of February, some news that happened, I guess, earlier in the month. Rihanna's Fenty partnership with LVMH ended. What are your thoughts on that? And does that give any bad signs going forward, I guess, for whatever Sephora is planning to do or the makeup industry as we know it?
No, I think the thing with Rihanna was a completely different situation. I think it was just a matter of overestimation of Rihanna's brand power. That's just what it was. Now, Rihanna had three branches of the Fenty line, yeah? She had the makeup, she had the Savage Fenty, which is the lingerie. Both makeup and lingerie are still ongoing. However, the clothing brand itself is what they're shutting down. And they're doing this for an array of reasons. One of them being the fact that it's a luxury brand. Now, the thing we need to understand with luxury brands is people who buy luxury like to buy the luxury that they know of. They don't buy it because of the person, they buy it because of the name. So you have the Chanels, you have the Dior's, and the likes, and then you hear of a Fenty by Rihanna. That's a luxury brand, and they're selling a t-shirt for what, $200, $300. Wow. Most people are not going to buy, and that's the issue that they had. They can buy a scarf, a Chanel scarf, or a Burberry sweater for $500 because it is a brand that they know is luxury. But then Fenty luxury, and Rihanna is the face behind it. They had issues with sales. The prices were a little too high, too steep, especially because, let's be honest, a lot of people buy these things because Rihanna is what their idol. Right. So you're telling your fans to buy a luxury item of about $300. It's unrealistic. So that's one of the reasons why they shut down. The competition was just too much. So now she's just going to focus on the lingerie and, of course, the makeup, which are doing fantastic, a lot more affordable. I mean, a lingerie could go for as low as $30. That's incredibly reasonable. So those are doing quite well.
Fantastic stuff. Kachi Offiah, thank you so much for taking us through, giving us your thoughts on the expansion of Sephora. We'll have to talk makeup more often, the makeup industry in the future. Thank you so much, Kachi. That is going to do it for the Global Business Report. Do stay tuned to Arise News from all of us. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for your company. I'm Rotu Sodiri. Take care.